Maurice, welcome to game 19.
How's it going, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic, man.
I like your shirt.
Thank you, sir. I like yours, too. You're wearing it a lot better than I'm wearing mine, too.
Yeah. Well, want to welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us for game 19 of the Real Racquetball Show. We have a really cool show coming up, some great guests, and some really cool topics. Along with those topics, we've got a really neat announcement that we've been working on for several months, and we finally got the deal worked out, and we're going to make that announcement here later on in the show. So, Maurice, since we've got all these cool topics, how about we just jump right in with the first thing we're going to talk about is the Real Racquetball Champion. And I love this show because we get to announce who that champion is. Yeah. And you've been part of a couple of them now, and surely know by now that this is absolutely one of the biggest parts of the Real Racquetball Show is this getting the chance to announce who this champion is.
Yeah.
Because it's the people that are doing the work behind the scenes, the grassroots, growing racquetball, where they're not under the limelight. They're not the big guns that everybody's watching and talking about on social media. They're just growing racquetball in their locations. So the Real Racquetball Show is for this episode for this month is Thomas Davis. And for those that don't know Thomas is from Branson, Missouri. Known Thomas for, I don't know, probably a year maybe. We'll let him tell a little bit more in detail. But he called me, I'm saying about a year ago. The pandemic time just really blows up time for me. It seems like it was a long time ago, maybe longer than that. I don't know. But he called me and says, hey, I've got a court. How do I do tournaments? How do I do this? How do I sanction leagues? I want to sanction everything to go through USA Racquetball. This is what I want to do. Well, he and I spent, I don't know, several hours on the phone chatting about how to do that. So let's welcome Thomas in.
Hey.
Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the Real Racquetball Show.
Thank you.
And congratulations on being the Real Racquetball Champion for this month.
Congrats. Congrats
Thank
again.
you.
well
Appreciate it.
Really cool. When we get together as a group putting the show together, we've got a list of people that we discuss who the champion is going to be. And when we started discussing all the things that you've done, it was just real obvious that, wow, Thomas deserves this award. He just is exactly what we're looking for. So,
well, I appreciate it.
So if you would, tell us a little bit about how you got started. What your shirt says home court. Tell everybody what that means.
Yeah.
I got my home court. So when I host my tournaments, I call them home court tournaments. Try to make shirts people wear instead of throwing away.
And home court, not everybody knows quite what that means. What do you mean with a home court?
So I'm in Branson where racquetball doesn't exist. So I built a court in my house about 4 years ago and I was playing tournaments again up in St. Louis with at Wedel, and they had such a good deal going with the kids program there. I just started the same thing here and just trying to do what I can to play as much racquetball as possible.
I've seen some of the pictures of your court. This isn't just a thrown together shoddy court. This is a beautiful place you've got built.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we did glass back wall, and we started getting enough people at tournaments. We added more glass on the side wall so we could have more people watching and just try to feed everybody and let them enjoy it.
Stuart, can you pull that picture back up again? Stuart runs the back side course. There you go.
Hey.
Beautiful looking court. Who are your partners on the court?
Racket and Charlie.
Racket and Charlie.
And they love racquetball.
That is racquetball commitment there.
Yeah, and I believe Bradley Rogers is not a fan of one of them.
There's a story there we'll have to talk about sometime.
Yep.
Well, Bradley speaks really highly of your tournaments. I know he's been there several times and he's really enjoyed his time. So,
well, everybody from your Kansas City group has just been excellent to come down, and they're just real mindful of everything and super nice.
Good. And I understand you do a lot of juniors and such on the court. I've seen several pictures on your Facebook page of all the kids. Tell us a little bit about that.
2 days a week, we're running kids classes, and my daughter's 12, and she just brings friends from school and try to give them racquetball. And my thought was simple, a little greedy, but I'm 40. I play racquetball with guys in their 70s. At some point, I'm going to be 70, and I need people to play with when I'm 70. So start teaching the kids now.
So I know you got the juniors in it. How did you get started yourself?
At college, I was going to SMS, and my roommate was on the team, and he got me onto it, and played for 3 years there. I still play with my college coach. He's 72, Dave Sims.
Yep.
And just that's what got me into racquetball, and unfortunately it's just not around here.
What strikes me as really cool though is you've got all these things going on. You're in tournaments and leagues, and you're teaching juniors how to play, all these great things going on, and you've got one court. I hear a lot of people complaining that they can't do anything because they only have 2.
You know, if I had 2, it would be amazing.
Exactly. So it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, what's fun for these tournaments versus others is it's more of a social event where people spend the entire day together, and it creates a different camaraderie than your normal tournament where you're just in and out. Play your games, talk to the guy for a couple minutes, and leave. And it just creates a lot better environment, a lot more low key too.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give your name to people that tell me that 2 courts isn't enough, and I'm going to send them your way so you can teach them how to do this.
Absolutely. I just did 1-day shootouts and try to do smaller brackets, and it works great.
Great. And you're teaching kids how to play. So that's fantastic. Well, congratulations again. We really, really appreciate all you're doing for racquetball, and love the fact that you're so open to helping other people learn the game.
Absolutely. Well, my door's open to everybody that'll sign the waiver.
There you go. It's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That it is. And I definitely want to thank you and Dan Whitley a ton for always helping me out.
Yeah, we're here. That's what we're here for, is to help facilitate people learning how to play racquetball. So,
it's a passion.
I wish we had all day to sit and talk about this, but unfortunately we got to let you go. But congratulations again, and I hope you make it down and play on your court someday.
Anytime. My doors are open to guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Thomas. What a neat guy.
Really
neat?
So it said Branson Racquetball. I know he has a Facebook page. I didn't realize it really was just one court.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And if you go to the Facebook page, the Branson Racquetball Facebook page, it's a beautiful court he built. It really is cool. It's got a couch and everything sitting out in front of it. He's got a pool at his house, and there's players sitting in the pool and hanging out, and that's pretty cool. I'm jealous.
That's right. All right. Okay.
Well, he's a strong real racquetball champion. I'm thrilled that that's who was selected for this month.
Absolutely. Congrats to him.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go on to our next topic. Our next topic is someone that everybody knows across the nation. She's been a Team USA member for many years, a national champion, and a newly inducted Hall of Fame member. So if we can welcome Aimee Roehler to our show, we'd really appreciate it.
Hi,
Aimee.
Hey,
How are you?
Hello, nice shirts. I love them.
Isn't that cool?
Where's two?
Everybody's dressed the same. That's the first time that's ever happened.
I know, I love it.
And it wasn't even
I
planned.
had to say it wasn't even planned. We all
Yeah.
did.
I got to go back and take a screenshot of this later, definitely.
There you go. That's really cool. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And of course, the shirts are part of why we wanted to get you on the show, get you to talk a little bit about what's going on, the purpose of the shirts and why you had them made. I think you sold them out pretty quick.
Yeah, we did. We sold 160 shirts, so it was amazing.
And I think probably you could have sold a lot more than that if you'd had them available. That's because I've had a lot of people ask me about them. So tell everybody a little bit about the shirt and what got you to do this.
Yeah, so back in the end of February, I went to the doctor for my annual mammogram, and it's a yearly thing, and they saw something on it, and they had me come back again, and for another mammogram and an ultrasound, and they still saw something, and the doctor looked at me and said, "I'm pretty sure you have cancer." And then she had me come back in for a biopsy, and then an MRI, and then an MRI-guided biopsy. And April 1st, I had a single mastectomy. And at that point, only a few people close to me knew what was going on. And I just felt it was very important to share my story with people. As a U.S. national team member, I felt I could use and work with USA Racquetball as the platform to share my story and tell people. I really want women to go and get checked, because it's not something I had symptoms or I felt anything. I just went for my yearly exam, like every woman over 40 should go and get checked. And last year, I was working with my friend Ruben Pagan at OneWellBall.com on a roller racquetball line. And we had that in the works, and we were kind of going to launch it for my Hall of Fame. And we talked a bit, and we thought, why not do something around breast cancer awareness? So this is what we put together. He's the designer behind it, so he did all the. I probably packaged the shirts, but he did the printing and the graphics and the packaging that you saw. He put all that together. So OneWellBall.com gets all the credit, but the proceeds from the shirt go to the Robert Wood Johnson Breast Cancer Awareness Family Assistance Fund. So all the proceeds he's donating. He's not taking any money. I'm not taking any money. But the proceeds are going to other women that have breast cancer that are going through chemotherapy or radiation, and they may need a wig, or they because they lost their hair, or they may need a ride to and from radiation or chemotherapy, or they may need meals because they're too tired to cook or something like that. So that's where the donations from the shirts are going to be going to. We're working out the accounting now, so we can present a check to the Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, which is where I'm gonna be starting chemotherapy myself the second week of June. So that's where all the proceeds are going to be going.
Okay,
that's amazing, and
So.
appreciate your coming and telling us your story about that, because it's one of those that like you say, every woman should go have their annual mammogram. They just should. It's not something you feel sick about. I've known several women that have gone through this, and they all said the same thing. They just had no idea, and if they hadn't gone and been checked, it could have been devastating. I mean, it could be much worse.
I'm very lucky it was caught, even though I'm going to have to do chemotherapy and I had the mastectomy, it was caught early. But these are the things I have to do to stay healthy and whatnot. So that's what I have to do. But I've heard from several women in racquetball that have said, they booked their mammogram because of me and because of me sharing my story. So I'm really, even though it was a lot for me to go public with something so personal, I'm really glad that I did. So
I'm impressed and in awe, really. I know probably you get a lot of that, and it sounds like it's just lip sync, but it really is. That's a very tough thing.
I'm usually a pretty quiet person, so I just shared everything. So
well, I appreciate you, like you said, using the platform that you have as a national team member to not only bring awareness to it, but to help other women who are going through it. I'm pretty much speechless. I mean, I read the story when it first came out. You know, as soon as you launched, I immediately did it.
You were like one of the first ones that ordered.
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna say nothing. It was just as soon as it did. This is something that's very personal to me. You know, I'm not. Someone very close to me had to go through it, and they survived from it. And the same thing they're saying: the earlier that you can detect it, the more likelihood you have a chance of surviving. And so I'll be with you going through it. If there's anything you ever need, please feel free. I know we haven't really talked that much at tournaments because I'm just sitting in awe watching you play. You know, congrats on the Hall of Fame. Also, you know, I hope to get there. But so for real, if there's anything you ever need, I will 100% support it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really nervous about chemotherapy and whatnot. I'm scared, but I'm hoping. I've been playing racquetball for 30-something years, and I take care of myself, and I think I'm in good shape. So I'm hoping that's gonna, get me through it and allow me to keep playing. So.
Good. Yeah, I'll be with you. Really.
Thank you. And I have to give a shout out to Stuart. I know he's like in the background, but Stuart ordered 10 shirts.
Yep.
So thank you, Stuart. And thank you to the two of you. So I really, really appreciate it, and it's going to a great cause. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And you did say you're doing something. You said around October, right? Yeah.
I mean, so many people have reached out and said, hey, is it too late to order a shirt? We'd like to do something, and we'd like to donate and make order a shirt. And because we have to get all the accounting together so we can present a check. We can't take any more orders, even though we'd love to, but we are planning to do something for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. So, around breast cancer awareness and the Roehler Racquetball line. So look for something then.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Well, and we will extend an invitation if you'd like to come on the show and promote it or present it.
Awesome.
We would love to have you come back and talk about it and talk about your journey up until that point and what it is, how everybody can help. Okay, great. I appreciate that. I think you found out that the racquetball world will all jump up and support. So
it was amazing. Get out to them. We did not know how many people were going to order, and I said, "Well, I can think of 5 if we include my family, so that's 5 orders, And then they just kept coming through. So it was incredible. It really was.
Well, it's impressive, and it just goes to show what great character and what a great person you are, and everybody wants to help. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
It's really important. So anything else that we can talk about on the show? I think pretty much given us you're going to do another activity in October. We look forward to that.
Yes, definitely.
And we wish you all the best in your chemo. We know that's a challenge. So if there's anything that we can do, absolutely reach out to us.
Okay, will do. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. And thank you for wearing the shirts tonight, too.
Absolutely. Wow.
I'm glad she was vigilant about it. That cannot be understated. It's so important. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I know that you hear grumbles and women don't like to go do that, but I mean, that's proof positive that you really you've got to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to do it annually so you catch it early. If something pops up, it's your best chance of survival, and it has a good survival rate if they catch it early.
Yeah.
So great stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm so impressed.
Yeah,
talk about that.
It's a cause that's very personal to me. So I will 100% support it.
Good deal. Well, it's tough. A lot of people go through it, and it takes a lot of courage to come on the show and talk about it. And I'm glad we could all support it, and we'll keep her in our hearts and prayers and wish her the best.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Next, we're going to invite Connor Shane onto the show. Connor's got an announcement on this new partner for USA Racquetball. So if we can get Connor to come in. Connor, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Connor?
How you doing?
Welcome.
Good, brother. How about yourself?
Good, man. We're going quick.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw that last segment or two, didn't you?
Yeah, that was
It's powerful, isn't it?
I love that. I think that's a very powerful message. It's very cool that we can support something like that, or at least bring some sort of awareness to it.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of strength to come on and talk about it. So we applaud Aimee. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about this new partnership. We have 2 deals we've signed just recently that we want to talk about. One's a brand new partnership, and one's a renewing of a long-standing partnership. So I'll let you take over and talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this one's one I've been super stoked about for a very long time. It's been actually about 6 months in the making. Lots of negotiations, contracting, and back and forth adjustments, because it's probably the most substantial contract that I think, Mike, you can attest to this, that we have potentially signed in a while. APS Nike is going to be our official apparel provider. So it'll be starting essentially about 17 days ago is when we officially enacted it. But APS Nike's, this licensee apparel provider specifically for Nike that we're going to be partners with now. So USA Racquetball is going to have a very, very cool online store. It's a 4-year partnership, and they're additionally the adult national team partner. So this will be not just the store, which is going to be fantastic. They're word marking a lot of other stuff for us. We're going to have our own, Nike approved logo, and we'll pretty much be going hand in hand with it. APS Nike is the company that is also works a lot with USA Wrestling, weightlifting, diving, and a couple other NGBs. So they're fantastic. We worked with them when I was at fencing. He's a good buddy of mine, and he absolutely loves racquetball. The guy, their sales guy on APS Nike is the racquetball player. He plays in Portland at the Mac Club.
All right. Didn't know that. That's cool. So explain a little bit about why it's APS and Nike together. I know that was a part that when we were doing some of these negotiations, it was a little bit interesting, is I didn't understand why we weren't dealing directly with Nike on this.
Yeah, I mean, Nike's the massive, company that's running through tons of things. A lot of the smaller companies like us can't get those national level sponsorship, and they've pulled a lot of them too, just officially licensing people like Athlete Performance or Supply or Solution, sorry. And so they are an official Nike licensee. Everything pretty much goes through them. They're based in Portland as well, not too far from Nike headquarters. And everything that they do comes, top down. So all of our gear is going to be very high quality. Our store is going to be managed by APS. That's the piece of it. So APS is going to manage and house our platform. But all the gear is going to be, like I said, Nike gear. The adult national team will be outfitted
with the swish.
Oh yeah. It'll be the whole shebang. Yeah. So it's word marking this Nike racquetball sort of motif going forward. And so the national team is going to be outfitted. The international warm-ups and stuff like that are all going to be, this Nike swish stuff.
Yeah.
So we going to be fresh for Pan Am? Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Super.
I have to tell Troy about this.
It's really a cool partnership, and I think the relationship with APS having licensing rights from Nike, and the fact that Nike's going to create or APS and Nike is going to create this swish racquetball Nike racquetball brand, and then put it on the store for everyone to order product from, is really kind of a cool concept. It was something we've, like I say, Connor's been working on this thing for 6 months. And they're the official apparel provider for the adult national team for USA Racquetball, which is really kind of a cool deal.
Right.
But with that, the other part of this whole deal was, and part of what took this so long to get to happen, was it was really important to USA Racquetball to maintain our relationship with Rollout Racquetball. Absolutely important. I've known Jonathan for a long time, and he's been a great supporter of racquetball from many, many years. And we absolutely wanted to keep Jonathan involved in USA Racquetball. So the way we've worked these out is Rollout Racquetball is the official provider for the junior national team. So Rollout and Jonathan, their apparel brand, they're going to be the official provider for the apparel for the U.S. national team, for the junior national team. Really cool. I said I was on the board when I got on the board. Jonathan and I have worked together a lot on different products. He's been supporting Racquetball for so long that we absolutely wanted to keep that partnership and relationship. And over the last 6 months, we took a lot of work, but we were able to come to an agreement that I think works really well for everybody. Racquetball certainly comes out looking good in this deal, and we think that both of the partners, we're going to do everything we can to promote both of them and keep them in the light and give them an opportunity to thrive in the business that they provide to USA Racquetball and to across the country for racquetball tournaments, for the national team, because putting the things together and putting the apparel together for the national teams, adult and juniors, they do that so that they get the exposure and the sales from all the other products. So when you get a chance, if you've got an opportunity, you're running a tournament to buy your shirts, look to Roll Out Racquetball, look to APS Nike, find out what they can offer you for your tournament and support those individuals as partners of USA Racquetball. It's important to them. It's what helps them provide us with the apparel to give to our national teams. And it's an important partnership. We're excited about it.
Yeah, very excited. And like I said, it was such a long time because you're absolutely right. To try and get both of those partnerships in a place where we both felt comfortable. To close that kind of out is the store is going to be available in about a week. They're working on getting all of our stuff branded and posted so that it can be on there to shop for. And the way that it works is it kind of gets funneled through in just contemporary measures, so every month or so, they'll come out with new products. They'll run through old stuff, bring out new stuff, and then we'll do posts about that frequently. So you can get up, in Maurice's words, the freshest stuff you can.
You just answered my next question. I was about to say, so if we go to the junior championships, right?
Yeah.
If we go to the junior championships for the adult team qualifier, if I win, right, we'd be outfitted in that gear.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it'll be full blown
a little more motivation.
Yeah. A little more motivation.
A little bit. Okay. It's fun. It's cool.
All right. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. That means we struck a chord.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what a terrific segue. We should talk a little bit about the junior national championships and the adult team qualifier.
Yes, absolutely. So this one is kind of it's in my mind, it's a little bit bittersweet, right? Because I'm so excited that we can host this event. But it came at the cannibalization of our festival. Lots of issues. We talked about the festival being canceled, 2021 festival being canceled. So this is, our contingency plan. And hopefully we're going to.
Before you get into that too much, just to let everybody know, speaking of the cancellation of the festival, as awful as that is, we still don't have word out of St. Louis that we could, had we kept this thing going, that they're still locked up. This would not have been possible. So we've had a lot of people ask me. I've had texts and emails, people wanting to know with the announcement that came this last week from the CDC, does that mean we could have had the tournament? Well, we couldn't have. They still haven't released anything for this. But the biggest thing is we couldn't have turned around if they completely opened it up. The entry deadline was in a week. There's no way we could have put this together. So this is the really good option. It was very important to us to make sure we had the junior championships compete to make the team. Last year they had to go through the process of sending in videos, all that kind of stuff. So it really was important to us. And we want the adult team to qualify for the upcoming international championships. So it's important to us that the juniors get a chance to play and the adults get a chance to qualify. So that's kind of where this came from. And there are two other really indoor tournaments coming up. The U.S. Open is a great chance for the adults to go compete. So we want to make sure everybody gets their entries and goes to Minneapolis and celebrates with the U.S. Open. So some good stuff coming. So go ahead, Connor. You can give out the information we have so far. We're still working on this because we had to turn this really quick. Just for everybody that's never run a tournament, to shift gears and run it, to set up a tournament in a matter of 2 weeks We started working on this a little bit before the cancellation announcement because we kind of were seeing the writing on the wall. But typically it takes months. So we've worked really hard to get this turned around, get this set up and going. And we still have some work to do. We've got some things that are unanswered. So we'll let you know what those are now.
Yeah, so the junior national championships is, like Mike said, so the contingency plan we were working on after the cancellation of the festival, there was a lot of different options, but it was very last minute, right? We didn't want to fall in the same category of issues that we did with the festival. So this one had to be a guarantee with enough courts in order to host a standard championship plus adult national team qualifying. And then on top of that, we also had to guarantee that there weren't going to be masks while play occurred. So, and that's what we have in Des Moines, basically. So walking through this, Mike's absolutely right. So the 2 weeks trying to play in this event was very intense. The contingency plans we worked through, it was a lot of just, I would compare it to just a lot of, executive decisions, walking through firsthand, what are our options? How many courts does this place have? How many courts does this have? What are the regulations? What are the spectator policies and stuff like that? And then just pick one and go with it. So canceling the festival was absolutely a great idea, or not, sorry, it wasn't a great idea. It was the right choice. I do believe it was also a great idea, but it was the right choice at the time. And I think that's very important to discuss. And this event was built off of two major priorities. So number one, we have to get the kids on the court. The junior team, the junior kids need a championship. That sort of pipeline growth is extremely important. Yep. So junior kids are priority number one. And then priority number two was to get the adult national team qualified in an actual competition rather than, the model that we were using last year. Getting those athletes on the court to qualify is priority number two. And so that created the sort of junior championships. So Des Moines is kind of where it was at. Like Mike said, the organizing it very quickly. So the hotels are taken care of. The link is up. They're a little bit more expensive than St. Louis, but Louis, we had 6 to 7 months to try and negotiate those hotels down a little.
And we were looking at 600 or 700 people.
Oh yeah, right. And it was a lot more
big factor. Yeah.
And the difference too in Des Moines is that we are downtown. So the hotel we have is our host hotel, fantastic block we have, and it's 600 feet from the Wellmark YMCA. And there are some other hotels that are being booked out. There's another convention that's happening on top of us. But other than that, registration's open. The divisions are open. We have the junior divisions open and junior team qualifying and adult team qualifying. Everything's already open, so feel free to go register. Get your flights in quick. From what we've heard is that try the third party flight websites, Expedia and the Kayak. They're seeming to have a lot bigger discount than booking straight through the airline, or even just going to Google Flights or Skyscanner and looking at something like that. But I guess
a real good example. I spoke with an individual a couple weeks ago that was looking at a flight out of somewhere out of California. Don't remember exactly where, but he was looking at $500 or $600 for a flight. And I quickly Googled it or looked it up on Kayak and found flights between $250 to $400. So I sent him that information, and he ended up with a flight for somewhere around $320. So, and it was through Kayak. I looked it through Expedia also, and they were looking just right at the airline. And the airline, one of the big benefits of, and I'm not promoting anybody, we don't get any sponsorship. United is the sponsor, and we recommend everybody use United that possibly can. But the difference in some of the third parties, they'll combine different airlines to get you the best price.
Yeah.
So it's worth checking, and then you can always approach the airline with that pricing, and sometimes they'll match that.
Yep.
So we want everybody to get the best pricing.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
So because Iowa doesn't have the mask mandate, why couldn't we still hold amateur divisions, like regular amateur divisions?
Yeah, so we're very squeezed on dates and time, right? So the festival gave us this beautiful window to have 22 courts and 10 days of competition, right? So we could have all of these fantastic recreational divisions, the friendship divisions that we were trying to aim at, plus, 2 other national championships. Des Moines sitting at 8 courts, exactly, right? And the tournament is only going to go over just a standard, 4 days, right? That the Wednesday, 5 days, I guess technically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Having to jam that much stuff into that short amount of window is unfortunately just not feasible. It isn't feasible at a normal championships. It's not really feasible at this one. And we also have to make sure that, we're trying to up those the streaming count. So we're going to stream at this tournament, 2 different courts, have a great streaming service there, but make sure that, those adult national team divisions and the junior national team division qualifying are both getting streamed with our high quality pushing forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we absolutely would love to have the full festival somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible to turn something that huge around in that quick time. And think about with all the other events and with COVID pushing all of the conferences, conventions, and all of the sporting events, it's kind of pushed all of them back to the latter part of the year. So cities are just scrambling right now to squeeze things in.
Okay.
So, we asked the questions and we looked at a lot of different locations, and we decided real quick that it just wasn't feasible.
Okay.
So we needed to do the very best we can. So the junior championship, one of the things we've done with that, it's a normal full junior championship. So it'll have the Olympic format for all of the kids. We expect them to play an enormous amount of racquetball. And the junior championship was in Des Moines in 2018. 18, yeah. And they did a beautiful job. The support from the state association is enormous. We've got to just really give them an applaud for they've stepped up so much already, just helping us pull this together as quick as we have. It's a big part. We need that support in the city to help us pull this together and make it happen and work well. Yeah.
And you're right. Those 3 partnerships, the Dan Horner, president of the Iowa Racquetball Association, and Trina Flack from the Catch Des Moines Visitors Bureau were on it like none other, right? Texting daily, getting this quickly. And the odd part was that, these kinds of events, I want to typically be organized a year in advance, website locations launched, hotels already contracted, that. And the festival was already squeezed. But that was, in the middle of a pandemic year, it wasn't going to happen. And this event is even more so. So it may look a little bit different. I may have to cut a few corners just to save some budget because you didn't have all that negotiating power in the first place. But regardless, we're going to get those kids on the court and we're going to get those athletes qualified.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking of that, we want to encourage everybody to book your hotel quickly. There are a lot of events going on even in Des Moines that are. There's a couple going on during the time, but they don't have anything to do with our event, but they are taking up hotel rooms.
Yes,
so the blocks that Connor's secured are really good blocks. They're 600 feet from the club. The airport is close to the club. Mm-hmm. When you fly in, you can take an Uber, and it's an inexpensive Uber to the hotel.
Hotel transportation also. There's a hotel. Yeah.
Oh, the hotel shuttle will get you there and back at no charge. And you can walk to and from the club real easy. There's restaurants and there's things to do downtown Des Moines.
And for that point to the hotels, yes, absolutely. Please book early. The one issue we're seeing right now that came up yesterday and today is that main hotel, the Savory or the Renaissance Savory, is fantastic. It's right across the street, but the Hyatt Place is currently sold out of our block for our doubles rooms. So I'm working on another contract with a third hotel to get more of those double rooms for our attendees, but there are some available at the Renaissance, but they are selling out. And those rates, like I said, they don't change. They won't change if you book a day before the tournament, but they probably will be sold out.
Okay. So, all right. The last thing we're going to talk about just real quick is that we've got a lot of questions about if we're having a banquet on Saturday night.
Yep.
Since we pulled this together really quick, I apologize. We don't have that answer today, but we are working on it. Connor and I and Renee have met almost daily discussing all of these details. We're working on a lot of different possibilities. We expect to have some kind of an activity on Saturday night. I don't want to necessarily call it a banquet because I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like, but we expect to have something, and we'll have that information out as soon as we have contracts and agreements on it.
Yeah.
But kind of plan on, we've already, if you look at the site, we've got it planned out that play will end early on Saturday. So everybody will be available to go, whatever it is we're able to put together. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, it'll be cool.
Okay.
Agreed. And it, like Mike said, we're gonna, do the best we can to get information out immediately.
Right.
So we shows and stuff like that. And once we have that information, once I have it, we're going to launch it. No questions asked. No big deal.
Right.
So, all right. Well, that's all the update I have. If Maurice, Mike, you have any other questions?
No. Okay.
Cool.
A lot of
All right, well,
information pulled together really quick. So appreciate all your hard work, Connor. And as you said, we'll have more information out quickly. As soon as we have contracts, we'll get them out. All
all
right.
right. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, Connor.
Wow.
It's been kind of a whirlwind pulling this together, but I think it's really coming together well.
Yeah.
The Iowa Racquetball Association is strong, good leadership, and they're really stepping up to help us out. We really appreciate all the work the Y is doing. They've jumped right in. We're agreeable to open their club up and let us have it for 5 days. And if you've never been there, there's a gymnasium next to the 8 courts, and these are really beautiful courts. They're fairly new, all glass back, so people will really enjoy it. They're very fast. They'll enjoy playing on them. The handball in Des Moines is really big, so the handball group had a lot of work to do to help design and build these courts. So the walls are really solid. As close as they are, I went up and helped them run several of their handball tournaments once they got the club open. And these are good, fast courts. They play really fast.
Concrete?
The panel, but somebody told me that they were concrete the other day, and I've been up there a dozen times. And my understanding was in the construction that I thought they said they double paneled them to make them really thick because the handball plays off of it better. But it plays really solid. So I'm gonna do some research. I've got to do some work, and I'm sure Dan will text me in the next 10 minutes and tell me. I say Dan Horner, the head of the Iowa Rag, great guy. He has really been a huge help.
Yeah.
So we want to wrap this up. We've kind of gone into overtime. I think we're into our third game now.
Oops.
But it's been some really great topics. Maurice, I don't think anybody's going to complain that we've gone a little bit long on this show.
Yeah.
So
I think everything was good.
Yep. And we've got to make sure everybody's aware that game 20 is going to come up. And because of the holiday, we're going to be 3 weeks instead of 2. So game 20, I don't have the date on me. Stuart's in the background. Stuart, do you know what the date is exactly? The 7th.
7th, I think, right? Yeah.
June 7th.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Renee was on that really quick. So join us on June 7th for game 20. We'll have a lot of updates on the junior championship. A lot of good information coming. So
send the Racquetball Championship nominations to C. Shane at usaracquetball.com.
Absolutely. If you have somebody that you know in your area that is doing great work to grow racquetball, we've had some fantastic winners so far. If you've watched the last few shows, and if you haven't, go back and catch up on them because we've had some great people on here. Just see Shane at usaracquetball.com or send it to either Maurice or myself, and we'll make sure they're put into the list of nominations. But we really want to honor those people that are helping to grow racquetball in the grassroots efforts.
Absolutely.
All right, Maurice, great show. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Really want everybody to have a great time, get back on a court. Things are starting to open up. Let's get some tournaments and leagues and racquetball going. Teach somebody how to play. Make sure somebody that doesn't know how to play, get them on a court and help them out. They'll enjoy the game for life. So thank you very much.
All right, Mike. Thanks for everything. Bye, everybody.
You bet. Thanks, Maurice. Bye.